Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. Today is Friday, April 28, 2023. The sun is in Taurus. Our outer lives are very focused on establishing material and physical security for ourselves. The waxing crescent moon is in Leo, so we are actively striving to unfold our plans and meet our goals, some of them in time for this full moon that's coming up in a week, while the moon is in Leo and we are letting our light shine. We're showing our appreciation, we're giving our love, and we're being generous and loyal, okay? So with that said, I want to introduce you to the card that sits on the side of the page, which is the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is here because it corresponds in astrology with the first 10 days, or the first decan of the sun's transit here in the land of Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign, and Pentacles and Tarot represent earth element symbolism. Earth element symbolism is about the physical resources you possess. And that includes your body, anything you own, especially the things of value that you have that allow you to feel as though you're supported and capable of doing the things that you are doing in the world. So we come to the Five of Pentacles, and you know, we see a scene of some kind of deprivation, right? So we have this nice stained glass window in the side of a wall. So that just represents an institution like a church or a government or some other kind of authority that has the resources to offer, you know, shelter or other kind of help, right? And then you see these two people sort of snowy scene walking around out in the snow. One of them is missing shoes. The other one is on crutches. So there's a very out in the cold vibe about about this card for sure. Things seem a little bit dismal for these people. They are definitely going without some things that they need. So the first thing I always want to say about this card is, if you are going without something that you need, shoes on your feet, proper clothes to wear, water in your house, electricity, food, the stuff that you actually need to get by and be supported in the world, ask somebody for assistance, okay? Somebody out there has the resources. There is enough of everything for everybody. So if you're going without, you know, that might be a matter of politics, it might be a matter of money, it might be simply a matter of self-deprivation. Don't go without the things that you actually need to do well in the world, because when you do, you put yourself behind. Health-wise, you put yourself behind just in terms of material security in the world, all right? And if you know somebody who is going without, try to give them a hand, all right? If you have the resources to assist them, please try to assist them. And if you don't, then perhaps you can just be a resource in helping them figure out who can help them get back on their feet and in a place where they're getting all the things that they need, okay? So let's not go without. And then also there's just a sense of this, of going without something that we're used to having perhaps, or not caring to ask for help when we are definitely in need, right? So sometimes we don't care to ask for help because I'll use the church as an example. I've never felt comfortable asking a church for help because of what they ask in return, right? And it's just not something I'm willing to give of myself. So, you know, if you feel like the person who's capable of helping you is also going to somehow ask something of you that you're not willing to give, it's okay to keep moving and look for support in another place, all right? So with that, all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card over. Oh, friends, we got the Star. So the Star is a lot of people's favorite card. It's definitely one of my favorite cards. And it is a major arcana card, so it's more of a profound, impactful message than just a regular numbered suit card like this, okay? So let's talk about this for a minute. The Star comes directly after the Tower in the major arcana. So the Tower is a point of crisis where things fall apart. And whether you expected it or not, the thing that you built that was strong, meant to last forever, just isn't available to you anymore, right? So this is the peaceful aftermath, right? When the building has fallen, when everything has you know, gone back to its original, you know, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Here's the Star just starting over. It's a very kind of Aquarian figure, okay? Aquarius is a water bearer, and you know, that's that's some air sign symbolism, really. It's about the intellect. It's about what we think, and it's about sort of establishing ideas and plans that take a broad view on what the future can be for us. Okay, so you know, rather than trying to go back and do the same thing over again and build the same structure that we built, or build the same network that we built, or, you know, accumulate the same possessions that we had before, we're going to take a fresh outlook on this and see if we can do it differently this time, perhaps in a way that is a little more personally and spiritually fulfilling. This is a very vulnerable time, as indicated by this person's nudity, but it's a time when it's okay to be vulnerable, right? Because you've just been through something like a crisis of some kind, or some kind of fall from grace, or you know, some sort of fateful loss, right? So at this point, we're very vulnerable. We're very open to new ideas, new ways of doing things, right? 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the water. So this is very much 1 foot in the real material world, and 1 foot in our emotions and intuitions, right? We're going to serve both of those purposes as we make our plans going forward. There are 7 small stars up here, and I've been told that those relate to the 7 chakras that we address when we do chakra meditations or reiki. So that's about, you know, energetic healing for your body. It's not just about physical healing. Energetic healing is physical healing, okay? Because energy is matter, right? Which we found out from Einstein many years ago. So they're just different kinds of healing, but they have an impact on one another. So those stars really represent healing, and being 8-pointed stars, they represent that search for real balance in our lives. So, you know, this is great. You know, this is a new opportunity, a new chapter in life where we can, you know, approach the world in a new and different way, in a vulnerable way, in a way that takes into account, you know, both the physical world and the immaterial world. And hopefully we can make that new life somehow take flight, right? From a place of purity, and once again, a place of innocence, we can build something beautiful and new for ourselves. So where do we see this on the page? I'm going to take a moment to look at this. What's going on in Aquarius right now? Well, Pluto. Okay, so here's the star, and here's the star doing this, you know, let's say being in the middle, all right, of this transformation, or not being in the middle, but being like post-crisis in this transformation, and at the very beginning of the next journey, right? So here's Pluto. Pluto just went into Aquarius a month or so ago, back in March. Pluto went into Aquarius back in March. It's been about a month and a half, and it moves very slowly. Okay, Pluto is the farthest out there planet. So from our perspective, it is the slowest moving planet. And since it popped into Aquarius at 0 degrees back in March, it has been in Aquarius at 0 degrees, just barely even, not even inching forward, sort of centimetering forward, millimetering forward, right, as it goes. But Pluto in Aquarius is not the same thing as Pluto in Capricorn. So this is the end of a 20 to 30 year era where Pluto was deconstructing institutions and edifices that no longer work, exposing those institutions for the reasons why they don't work, or the reasons why they are, you know, just, you know, counterproductive to being human, right? So that's what Pluto was doing during that 20 years. And then it pops over into Aquarius. So now we're going to bring transformation, which is Pluto, into the fixed air world. This whole idea that we can create a new plan from a place of being experienced, but somewhat vulnerable, with our feet both on the ground and in our emotions, but really with our mind on a big picture perspective of, you know, who we think we can serve, and how much we think we can affect in a positive way, right? We're going to be reconstructing those old edifices and institutions while Pluto is in Aquarius, in ways that hopefully, if we can't reconstruct them, we will tear them down. And if we can just reconstruct them, we will reconstruct them in ways that really, hopefully, meaningfully serve all of humanity, serve everybody. Okay, that's the very important thing to Aquarius. It's very humanitarian minded. So it's no longer like what works for me, what works for me, and, you know, to heck with everybody else and how it affects them, right? With Pluto and Aquarius, it's going to be what works for me has to work for everybody else. And, you know, with this new moon and with this coming up full moon, well, with this new moon, we kind of got a taste of what the new Pluto and Aquarius was going to be about, right? We've got some changes going on in our political landscape. We've got changes going on in our social and cultural landscape, and you know, that's going to keep going on. So we've gotten a sneak preview, but that's the next 20 years. Now, this coming Monday on the 1st, on May Day, the beginning of Beltane, which I'll get to Beltane too. The beginning of Beltane, Pluto is going to turn retrograde. Pluto's retrograde for about 6 months out of the year. It's going to be retrograde through the 11th of October this year, okay? So all these transitions, and I want you to look back on the past year or so. Notice all the changes, transformations, and transitions that you've been through. Notice what went easily for you, what didn't go easily for you, what maybe you are still in resistance to, right? Now is the time to really reflect and review on those changes and really start to integrate them, really start to embody those changes, you know, in your heart and in your mind and in the way you move forward, you know, in activity as well. So, this is a time to be, you know, sort of post-crisis, right? Like the star, just sort of reflecting on what you've been through and trying to integrate those changes so that when you move forward, when you create a new plan for yourself, as you build a new life for yourself, you're doing it in a more optimistic way that shows your growth as a person and shows, you know, our growth as a culture. So that's Pluto retrograde, and that very much relates to the star for me. I do want to give you a heads up. Coming up on Monday, we start the Beltane celebration. May 1 is solar Beltane. It's when we celebrate the very peak of springtime. It's also like the outer, very, very beginning of summer, okay? So we're celebrating that. It's usually a fire celebration. You know, if we were old-time cattle herders, we would protect our herds and protect our crops by burning a fire, and like they would run the cattle in between the fires or over the fire or over the hot coals as a magical spell of protection, and also they would blow the smoke onto the crops, you know, again as an intention of protecting those crops. So this is a time when, magically speaking, we're doing ritual, spell work, intention setting, prayer, to protect the resources that, you know, that we hope to turn into something of value. So just be aware, Beltane is going to be next week. It is the peak of spring. You may feel like celebrating. It is appropriate to celebrate during Beltane. Yeah, so I would love it if any of you do celebrate Beltane to let me know what your Beltane practices are. You know, I'm not a big one for really showing up for these celebrations. I like the idea of them, and often if it's safe, I will go ahead and set a fire and set my intentions, but that's about all I do. So please let me know what you do for Beltane celebration at the peak of spring. Okay, and then with all of that said, I'm going to add the 5 of coins here with the star. So the 5 of coins, again, is about some sense of deprivation, going without something that we need, right? And there's a psychological mindset, you know, when you get used to going without the things that you need, and then you lose more things that you need, you just kind of take that in and say, yeah, I can live without that too, okay? I mean, really, there's a lot of stuff that we can live without, but there are things that we need in order to thrive, to grow, to move forward, to create this new life, okay? So, you know, we want to have a positive perspective and attitude about that, okay? We want to be We want to have our heads up. We want to be able to see what resources are at our disposal and making ourselves available to receive those resources, okay? Because when we make ourselves available, when we make ourselves vulnerable, when we're willing to make a fresh start, then we don't have to feel like we've been left out in the cold. We can have the things that we need to grow and thrive and move forward without just, you know, struggling to have basic health and basic needs met, okay? So try on that optimistic perspective if you're going without, or you know somebody who is. And that's not, you know, don't call somebody up that you know is hungry or going without water or electricity and say, hey, cheer up, it'll get better, okay? We still want to try to be of service. We still want to try to be of help. We don't want to leave anybody behind. That's the Aquarian ideal, okay? We want everybody to be included in the, you know, in the resources that it takes for everybody to feel supported, right? That's the whole idea of Pluto in Aquarius, or anything in Aquarius. That's the idea of the star, is the ability to make a fresh start. So if you have the ability to help somebody else make a fresh start, please do. And if you have and if you are in a place, again, where you are going without something that you need, or something even that you would just very much like to have, you know, keeping yourself shut out, having a dismal attitude about it, not being open to receive sort of gifts and assistance from other people as you try to make this fresh start, is not going to help you, okay? So, you know, get in tune with your emotions. Also get in tune with reality, right? 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the ground. And, you know, if you have to ask for something, please go ahead and ask for it. Because then you can make a fresh new start. You can start your life all over again. You just have to be a little vulnerable. Like, oh, I've been through something and I'm without something that I need. And you know, I would appreciate it if somebody could help me, and somebody will help you. Okay. All right, friends, I think that's all I have to say about it today. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for joining me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notifications bell. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you all here in the next video.